Oh, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, we're ready to go. It's 7
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay. Should I just say we're ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're ready. We're on TV, so we have to get all coordinated here. Okay? Okay, ready. Good evening. My name is Judy Reynolds, a member of the League of Women Voters of Chautauqua County. And I am serving as moderator tonight along with Minda Ray Amaron.
And I'm very glad to see you all here. The League of Women Voters supports the informed participation of citizens in government, and citizens can't be informed if they don't hear from their candidates what their positions are on issues of concern to the audience.
Tonight's debate will be in three separate segments, and we'll leave just about a minute or two between each one to exchange our candidates. We will start with the Town of Dunkirk Highway Superintendent, followed by City Council candidates, and lastly, the two candidates for County Executive. The rules are the same for all three groups. They will all start by answering a question that they knew in advance. And the question is, what is the most urgent problem facing Dunkirk today? And what is the first thing you would do to help solve it if elected?
And of course, for the county commissioners, substitute county for Dunkirk.
Okay, I'm sorry, did I?
No.
I apologize. Okay. In addition, in the opening statement, they will tell you a little bit about themselves and what they have to offer. We will begin with these two gentlemen, Mr. Butts and Mr. Jakubowski, for the first debate. Each of them will have a 2-minute opening statement. And by lot, Mr. Butts will be first.
We ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, number one, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for having us here tonight for this debate. I'll make this kind of short. My experience and things, I've lived in the town of Dunkirk for 7 years now. I have 35 years with the Village of Fredonia. My current title is Working Supervisor for the Village of Fredonia. I take care of maintenance of roads, drainage, sewer, water, snow plowing operations, and take care of basically, lucky there's two of us there, and I take care of basically everything. Take care of blacktopping, chip and seal, and so forth. Basically, I'm familiar with every aspect that there is to do with the highway department, and I feel that it is, it would be great for the town of Dunkirk to bring this experience there. I do hold a New York State CDL license, which you do need or should have to hold this job, and just in case anything happens where you can go out and run a truck, piece of equipment, or so forth. And that is basically my opening statement.
Thank you.
Again, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters and Ms. Amaran and Mrs. Reynolds here at the front table. I was born and raised in the city of Dunkirk. I graduated from Cardinal Manzini High School down the street, and about the time I was about 25, I exited and went to Willow Road, Dunkirk, New York. I lived there for the last 38 years. Then I joined the fire company, and I volunteered my time to the fire company for the last 38 years, being fire chief, not once, twice. And then I made a hat trick, and I said, I guess I had to do it again. I started my working career at Kraft Foods down the street. I worked there for 25 years in maintenance, and Was that an indication I'm too far?
more.
Oh, I got 1 minute more. From Kraft Foods, I went to Dunkirk Stainless Steel plant here on Brigham Road, and I finished my career about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm ready to serve the town of Dunkirk like I served the volunteer fire department for doing the job of the highway superintendent. In maintenance, I have no problem doing the job of the highway superintendent. Rich talks about CDL license, and yes, that's very important. I had to have that thing. Safety-wise, so I will conclude, and my timekeeper shut me down.
Thank you very much. We now open this to question and answers from the audience. And if you are at home watching this, you may also call in. And the number is 640-7623. The questions may be addressed to each candidate singly or to both of them. And they will have 2 minutes to answer the question, and 1 minute if a rebuttal is desired. Any questions from the audience? Dr.
Do the candidates have questions for one another?
I don't have any.
We agreed before, about a month ago, not to hit each other. So as long as Rich doesn't play dirty politics, I'm not going to play any
There was a
dirty
question?
politics here.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dick Murph. I live in the city of Dunkirk, which is outside the town, obviously. But I just wondered what you thought the biggest problem was for the town of Dunkirk Highway Department.
You want, this is for both candidates. Mr. Butts?
Well, if anybody, it doesn't matter. With my article that I put in the paper, I have watched the town closely. I have worked with them before, and like I said, there is a few things that can be done with the town of Dunkirk to be fine-tuned. Pretty much so, it runs like a very well, machine. The 2 employees know what they have to do. Naturally, you have the guidance of the superintendent to do this. But on the other hand, there's just a few little things that I feel that could be tuned on and make it a better town in the way things are being done.
And likewise, the roads. What's wrong with the roads? Well, if somebody gets in an accident, they'll blame the roads. And I have done my homework and looking at Chautauqua County. We've got one of the best roads in the county. You go into different states, and I'll tell you what, New York, Chautauqua County has really good roads, and they're improving all the time. And just today or last week, I saw something that it took over 40 years, and the New York State Thruway, even though that's not the Thruway Authority, they put up a cyclone fence on the bridge. And I know what it's for. Maybe you people don't know what it's for, but this afternoon, I saw what it was for. It's for wintertime where the snow builds up and the snow drifts over, and that fence blocks that snow from hitting the cars traversing east and west on the thruway. So there's all kinds of improvements that can be made. Yes, when I was going door to door, there were a lot of questions that were asked me, and can we do this, can we do that? And it's a matter of money. Hello, everything is money. If we could afford it, we could make perfect roads. We could build roads that could go 100 miles an hour, like the German Autobahn. That highway is 24 inches thick. It's like a airport runway. Yes, we could build that highway. We could build it. There would be no potholes. So yes, we could improve all the time. We can improve the highway system and et cetera. other stuff. There's always room for improvement. And I'm want to be innovative and go out and see these ideas and bring them back. Thank you.
And thank you. Any other questions from the audience?
We do have one question that was submitted in advance. Given the problems with salt and coal dust, the environmental problems with salt and coal dust, what would you want to use on the town's roads this winter, Mr. Jakubowski?
I would like to have the people slow down, and we wouldn't have to have anything on the roads if they would just slow down. Everybody's going to 90 miles an hour. If they would slow down. In fact, a lady asked me, she says, why do you have to plow the snow when it's only an inch deep? And I said, I don't know. They're plowing an inch deep. I said, maybe they're waiting for a big blizzard of 79 to come and they're practicing. But sometimes, yes, you've got to plow the roads. You got to get the snow off. You got to have a little bit of safety for the intersections and improve that stopping at intersections from the town roads to the state roads, county roads. And both the county does a fantastic job of maintaining the roads, plowing. Same thing with the town. The two guys, and actually we have 3 plows where the supervisor uses the 3rd truck. That truck doesn't need a CDL license, but the 2 guys have the CDL license.
Thank you, Mr. Butts.
Well, as far as with the coal, it's coal ash or fly ash, and I don't agree with using that on the roads either myself. And the best mixture that I have seen for preparing the roads and taking care of the roads is either a sand and salt mix, or sand, or just salt at your intersections and bad curves and stuff. Naturally, in the wintertime, everybody has to get prepared to drive for winter conditions. And that is the biggest thing. You have other aspects, and I know that they do use salt brine. Salt brine is fine to use in certain applications. It gets below a certain degree, it does freeze. So you need a substance down on the road to take care of it. And I feel, as far as the fly ash goes, I would not even think about using that. And that's about it.
Thank you. Anybody out there want to ask a question? We do have one more question that was submitted earlier. It's been suggested that Dunkirk might plow roads for the county as a way of generating revenue. What do you think of this idea? Shall we
start with Mr. Butts?
Yes, Mr. Butts.
Well, as far as I know, there are still shared services within the county, and plowing the county roads, I don't, they normally have the county has a plow down policy if they're coming through your township. And same thing with the town, if they're going through their township or their area, they normally go through with a plow down policy. So it's kind of, taking care of everybody, with doing your plowing and so forth.
Thank you.
I say, the town today, the 2 employees were in Sheridan doing shoulders today. And the same thing, they go for fuel to the county airport, which is on Middle Road, which they traverse down Middle Road to the county airport to refuel their trucks. We use the county airport also as a refueling station for our fire trucks. Both the east and the west town of Dunkirk goes to the airport on Middle Road. It's a 6-mile run for us, no big deal, but again, sharing with the city, Sheridan, the village of Fredonia, the city of Dunkirk. We do that now. We've done that, we do it, and we should continue to expand that maybe into a bigger role and help each other. And that's how we can save ourselves some money and get the job done and get back home.
Thank you. You have another chance. Any questions? Yes. Would you come up to the microphone, please?
Thank you. I'd like to know the candidate's position on the town taking over any private roads. What requirements might be and how each of you feel about that. Thank you.
Okay, shall we start on this?
Oh, you want me to start? Okay. There's quite a few of private roads in the town, and I've heard this back in 1970, 72. It was brought by a gentleman who still lives there, a good friend of mine, ex-fire chief, John Brillo. And this town attorney, Mr. Foley, explained to Mr. John and all the residents on Lakewood, Linwood, Edgewood, Woodlands, Shorewood Drive, of what they had to do. And nothing ever became of it. And today, I guess they're still under the restriction. I don't think, I know they're still under the restriction. Yes, the town will take the road over if the standard is met to widen it to a certain diameter, not diameter, width, and have a cul-de-sac so the plow could make a turnaround and get back. Put the drainage that's absolutely necessary for proper drainage so you don't flood somebody else's backyard. I would be all in favor of privatizing private roads, only for the fact that the fire truck could get through. Today, Shorewood Drive East, you won't believe, I can't believe how UPS can get down Shorewood Drive East. And I didn't mention that road. Did I miss a road in there? Shorewood Drive, Woodlands, Lakewood, Edgewood, Bay Reef. I think I got them all, but I'm not sure if I missed one or not.
Mr.
As far as taking over the private roads, I guess we kind of really feel, because I happen to live in one, and our area, it isn't private, but yet we would like to have the maintenance down there. The road should go to a 3-rod road, and drainage in those areas, there is drainage. It's just the width of the roads. I'm not going to go into detail on stuff, but in our area, we did have a problem where we could not get fire access to about 6 houses on our road. We could not get access. That problem has pretty much been solved now. We have time and time again, as Jake had said, with Mr. Morello, we do have a lot of drifting on a lot of the private roads. And we do sometimes have to call the highway department or the county or so forth to come in, or a private contractor, to at least get the drifts opened up so our private contractors can take care of our roads. But as far as the town taking over the roads, they are not up to specs, and you really have to look more in depth into that. But thank you.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, the candidates will now have time for a closing statement, 1 minute for each one, in reverse order.
So we begin with
So we
Mr.
begin there.
Okay, my closing comments. I'm watching the timekeeper. I wish I could see that clock. It's been a pleasure to be the first ones on here ahead of the county exec and the new county exec coming in, Mr. Cornell. And my closing comments of, if I was elected, I will, and I'm looking at my audience here and on camera, I will meet or exceed your expectations of me. I will guarantee that I will do that. I will give you 110% of all my energies to the best of my ability. If not elected, I'll be back in 48 months because I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to do what I think I want to do. And one of my things that I did in the fire company, I had a lot of projects over the last 38 years. And one of the projects I kind of want to mention was fire hydrant IDs.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bucks.
Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters again for having us here for this debate. I still feel that with my qualifications, the years of service I have put in with the Village of Fredonia, that I do have the best qualifications for this job for road maintenance, and that is what we do, is road maintenance, and take care of the people, make the people happy. Like I say, I will give 110%, 100%, whatever this job takes. I will get the job done, and I will make every town resident proud of the town that they live in. And like I say, there's only a few things that need to be sharpened up a little bit, but once they're sharp, you will notice. In my walkthrough, going door to door, some people I haven't got to yet, but I will. But in the East Town, there is a problem with snow plowing. It will get done. Thank you.
And thank you. Now, if you'll have to give us just a minute or two while we say goodbye to these gentlemen and have the other candidates for Dunkirk come forward, and we'll get them seated.
Thank you, Ms. Shamrock. Thank you.
Okay, you can take the water with you. You certainly are
Thank you.
welcome. All right, welcome back to the next segment here. We will introduce these people and get on with your questions and their answers.
We have the Republican candidates on this side, on this table. Mr. Moscato, Mr. Mikulski, Ms. What order? Ms. D'Amico, thank you, and Ms. Hanlon. And on the other table, we have the Democratic candidates, Mr. Seck, Ms. Floramo, Ms. Shikawa, and Mr. Dose.
Welcome again to all of you. The same rules will apply. If you're at home and want to call in, 640-7623. And any questions from the audience as well. They have drawn a number, and we'll answer the same question that was presented to all of the other candidates, as well as their background and why they want to run for this office. The question again is, what is the most pressing problem in Dunkirk, and what do you think is the solution? Okay? Again, 2 minutes. Number one was Rose. Thank you.
Okay. I am going to read this because 2 minutes, I have to talk long to say what I want to say. First of all, I want to thank the League of Women Voters, and especially Krista. She's been so faithful to us for putting this together. And I want to say hello, Dunkirk. I'm grateful for having been elected to you. Don't get nervous, for the 15 years on the Dunkirk Board of Education. There I gained so much experience about municipal law, people, and public service. You then elected me to the City Council for the 3rd Ward, and here I learned about politics. Some clean, some very wicked and dishonest. But I promised to work with council to push their agenda, and I did. Also promised you I would work for more transparency, and we are getting it. I have used common sense rather than politics on important issues, and I will continue to do so. Besides this experience, I want to say my greatest asset for this job is I have the time this office requires. It is a full-time job if a person is dedicated, and I thank you all for all contacts in the past 2 years. I'll continue to serve you. Oh, that's closing, sorry. The water is, our greatest asset is water, and by mandate, we're taking care of it. It's too bad it had been neglected so long. I first heard about it in 2008. It is 2009. It was suggested to be taken care of, and it wasn't. Now we are finally doing it. Our infrastructure needs to be fixed. We Band-Aided it up and neglected it long enough. We can't have pretty flowers out there and water in the sewers. It just doesn't work. And with that, I thank you.
Thank you. And number 2 was,
Over here.
oh, thank you, Mr. Dole.
Mr. Dole.
While serving on Dunkirk Common Council, I've held seats on the Finance, Personnel, and Public Safety Committees. That experience has aided my ability to serve the many critical issues facing the city of Dunkirk. During my years on council, I've held full-time employment as a teacher, where I've developed a multitude of management strategies by working with students from diverse backgrounds. I feel my experience managing a classroom has furthered my ability to set policy, make wise and productive use of my time, and work with many different personalities to address the public's concerns. Upgrades to the water treatment plant is the city's most pressing need, and fortunately, it is finally being addressed. 2 days ago, Council was asked to support a $6.3 million bond resolution to address the facility in Phase 1 only. It is a resolution that I will enthusiastically support, as the facility is in dire need of repairs. Without this bond resolution, the city would face a consent order, and the facility itself will fall into further disrepair. This facility is the foundation for attracting businesses, which should lead to job growth and an expanded tax base. We must get past this Band-Aid crisis-by-crisis approach to dealing with the many issues facing the city of Dunkirk. It is time to institute long-range financial planning to address our many infrastructure needs.
Thank you. You're number 3, right? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Shikawa, candidate for Dunkirk City Council. I would like to start by thanking the League of Women Voters for allowing me to be here this evening. I have the time and energy needed to be an effective Dunkirk City Council member. I am a creative, open-minded individual that will voice my concerns and ask questions until we receive the results that we deserve as city residents and taxpayers. I believe we need to have open, honest government working together with the residents. Working together as a team to upgrade the aging infrastructure in a timely manner without having to raise taxes or fees will be a priority for me if I am elected to the Dunkirk City Council. Being able to improve the quality of the infrastructure so that our homes, small businesses, and factories function properly, thus allowing Dunkirk to remain marketable in the future. If elected, I will take the time needed to discuss all options of budget reduction within each department, allowing more funding towards needed upgrades. It would be necessary to review every line within next year's proposed budget, and I think the city should consider having an energy audit and take any recommended advice or ideas of how to cut costs within the city. The city has made great strides forward in many areas, but I feel we need to be more proactive in broadening our tax base. I look forward to giving back to the community in which I have been a lifelong resident, and that is why I am asking for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4.
Item number 4. My name is Mike Mahalski. I'm running for First Ward Council. I have demonstrated over the past several years the willingness and desire to become involved in the betterment of our city. I have voluntarily served on the Dunkirk Local Development Corporation, the Dunkirk IDA, and the Boardwalk Market Committee. All of these committees have had positive effects on the city's economic development, image, and revitalization. I plan to bring a positive and professional approach to solving issues facing city residents and government. I believe to be an effective councilman, you need to have an independent voice, listen to the concerns of city residents, and present questions on issues when they arise. Upon graduating from Fredonia State with a degree in business and finance, I've been employed in the field of banking for the past 18 years and have enjoyed working with people in financial matters. I intend to bring the same customer satisfaction approach to residents of the city. Active in the community through youth sports, church, and civic organizations, I believe that if you give back to the community, you will make it a better place for everyone. While many of our friends have chosen to live elsewhere, my wife and I have made a conscious decision to own a home and raise our family in the city of Dunkirk. We would like to give our children more reasons to live here and make the same choice when they are older.
I'm sorry. I thought you were finished.
Although there are many issues facing the city, we could all probably agree on the top three. However, I believe the number one issue with the city of Dunkirk is the decline in the appearance and condition of housing. The housing blight that residents and visitors to our city are exposed to needs to be addressed now. There have been great strides made to improve upon certain areas of the city, such as the waterfront, downtown, parks, and playgrounds. I feel this problem negatively affects community pride, our ability to attract new businesses, and future economic development. To address this problem, I am proposing the following. First,
Thank you. Number 5. Mr.
Number five.
Moscato?
Thank you, ladies, again for making this available. My qualifications for the office of Councilman at Large is this: continued availability, reliability, and 28 years of experience in serving the city of Dunkirk on both the county and city level. At this time, the number one problem in the city of Dunkirk is to address the necessary repairs and upgrades to our water system. What I would do about it is already being addressed by both the city administration and the Common Council. Reacting to a consent order issued by both the New York State Department of Health and the Chautauqua County Department of Health, the city has made some improvements at this time, but many problems still must be resolved. Our contracted engineering firm has proposed a schedule to ensure the issues are adequately addressed in a timely fashion. This schedule will carry us into the year 2014. The Common Council, along with the city administration, is and will be evaluating and adjusting the water rate structure to cover costs associated with this necessary improvements. Thank you.
Thank you. You're number 6.
Okay, my name is Greg Seck, and what I bring to the table here is I've been on a school board where we dealt with big budgets, contracts for all personnel in the school district. I've been a business owner for 30 years before I retired. I've been a lifetime resident in the city of Dunkirk, so I know what the problems are and the ups and downs. I've seen people come and go, and there's nothing here to hold them anymore. And I think one of the biggest problems in the city, and there's many of them, just a couple, is deteriorating the water and sewer plants. And every time we turn around, there's another fee or a tax and reduction of service. They keep saying, well, do it yourself, you know. There's no reason for that. And I think the biggest problem we have in the city of Dunkirk is the lack of trust of people in City Hall. There's too many back room deals being made. One department doesn't know what the other department is doing. I'm in favor of having an open and accountable government. Let every department head report to central, either to the Common Council or to the mayor, so they can pass it on to everybody. Let the taxpayers of Dunkirk will support anything if they know what they're buying. But if you keep lying to them, they're going to say, well, geez, I ain't going to do this, you know. And as far as jobs, you know, this is a sore part for me, because my kids were raised in school and they had college education. After college, they had to move out of Dunkirk to find work. So I can't see my grandkids unless I travel a couple 100 miles to go see them. And there's no reason for that, you know. We have a beautiful city. Let's build it back up to what it was. Thank you.
And thank you. Ladies?
Oh, I'm number 7. I'm Marie D'Amico, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong city resident. I've been a homeowner and a taxpayer in the city for 17 years. I'm consistently involved in community activities, and I live and work in this community. I'm running for the 4th Ward City Council seat because I want to keep the momentum and the growth going that we've seen in the last few years in the city. I'm not a member of either major political party. I'm actually an independent. So I am not anybody's puppet. I'm not in anybody's pocket, as I've seen kind of mentioned about me in different places. I don't have a personal agenda or a party agenda that I'm coming in trying to carry out. What I am is an independent thinker. I will speak my mind. I will promise to be accountable for the decisions I make and to the taxpayers in the city of Dunkirk. The biggest concern I see, and I agree with everybody, the water plant, the lakefront wall, all those things are concerns. But to me, the working relationship between the mayor, the council, the department heads, the city workers, and the taxpayers is one of the biggest problems. And I agree with Mr. Sock when he's saying there's a lot of distrust. And unfortunately, that holds the city back, in my opinion. We all need to work together to solve these problems, and that's what I pledge to do.
And our last speaker?
My name is Kim Hanlon. I'm running for 3rd Ward City Council. I have lived in the city for the past 15 years. I originally come from Erie County, a small town outside of Clarence. And when I came here, I went to Fredonia State and graduated, and this is where I decided to stay. I met my husband, and we have a family here now. I have my kids attend Dunkirk High School, Dunkirk Middle School. I have 2 at School 4, and I still have a little guy who's home. At Fredonia State, I have my 4-year degree in healthcare administration. I'm currently a member of the Northern Chautauqua County Youth Hockey Association. I'm on the board for finance, fundraisers, and committees. I'm also volunteer as a softball coach for the Dunkirk Little League here in town. What I bring a lot of enthusiasm, and I bring hope for a great future for my kids here. Some of the biggest concerns I see, and this really came to my attention over the summer during my husband's 20-year class reunion, when everybody had to come back into town just to be a part of the reunion because they have all moved away. And looking forward, I don't want to see my children moving away so they're not here and my grandchildren are not here. So I'm really hoping to plant the seed now to build up the community more so than it has been. It's moving forward now. It's moving in a great direction, but there needs to be more. So our family members, our kids and our grandkids can come back here. We're already proud of the city, but they're going to be proud too when they can come back and raise their kids here. So we need to put we need to bring more jobs, technical jobs. We've started with the tourism. I think we need to continue with that and bring more events and activities to the city. And that's what I'm really hoping to do in this position. So thank you so much for having us here today, and that's it.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for questions from the audience. And remember, you may direct your question to all the candidates or to a particular one. And the candidates may also ask each other questions. 2 minutes for an answer, 1 minute for a rebuttal. Okay, who's first? Okay, would you come forward?
The question would be, where is our future and how do we get there?
For all the candidates?
Yes.
Okay, who would like to start? Oh,
Don't all jump in at once.
okay, Mr. Moscato.
The numbers.
You know, Mr. Wirth is pretty vocal on certain issues, and I respect him for his concerns, where he says, where is our future? You know, if you look around Dunkirk, the last 6, 7, 8 years, we have started seeing expansion being done in our city, not only in the larger industry, but also in the small businesses. For a quick example, right here on Central Avenue alone, 3 new businesses are moving into the city, all in one block. A couple from Amherst, New York made an investment. They bought a building. They put in one of their stores that they have in Amherst area. There's a young gentleman that just opened up a barber shop down here on the corner, a convenience store, and gas station facility is reopening again. ECR has made a major expansion in the city. We have been developing our waterfront over the last several years to where it is now a destination point for the public, not only from Dunkirk, but from all areas of our 500-mile radius. I've seen license plates from Ohio, Pennsylvania, New England, down here, and I think that's where our future is, and the continued growth with our local businesses, and Cliff Star is another example. Headquartered here, the largest private label producer of juices. They have companies all over the country, but they chose to stay here in Dunkirk and make this their headquarters.
Thank you. Anybody else like to either respond? Nobody?
Well, I'll go next. Okay. I'm not in response to that. But truthfully, I feel our future's pretty bleak unless we start addressing our numerous infrastructure needs and our housing blight. Like Mr. Mahalski said, you look around and the city has many areas. Yes, I know we've made improvements over the last few years, but there are still numerous areas that are deplorable. And if I'm a business looking to relocate to the city, I'm going to have some serious concerns about that. That's why I think that infrastructure should be our #1 priority. Long term, we obviously do not have the money to address all these issues at once, but we need long-term, long-range financial planning.
Thank you. Anybody else on of the candidates?
Respond to Mr. Doltz's.
Oh, sure. You have a minute.
A minute, thank you. I agree with you 100% about the infrastructure and the housing. But if you look around the city, especially in the housing area, you'll see people in our community taking it upon themselves to renovate their homes, beautify their areas and so forth. And again, Mr. Doltz did mention a money factor is one of the biggest problems. We have presently in place several items that are shovel-ready that we were told to prepare to try to get some of the stimulus money. I don't hold my fingers crossed on that, but we have made the applications. We have the permitting to do one of the major projects, and that's the Lakefront Boulevard wall. Everything is in place. It's just a matter of we have to determine how we're going to pay for it and where that money's coming from.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the future of Dunkirk?
Any other questions from the audience? Okay, we have 2. All right.
My name is Edna Seck from 7 Lakefront Boulevard. I'm kind of short. Anyway, I am very concerned, and I'd like to know what everybody here thinks about the problems where people from out of town are purchasing homes, and I have been trying to get the council to pass a law that would say that they need to have somebody that represents them, that they're paying to take care of these properties, because many of the properties are going downhill. They collect and collect and collect, and when then they quit paying the taxes. I've been studying this for a long time, and they quit paying their taxes, and then it's left to the city, and then we have the very expensive job of tearing down these homes. We don't have enough funds to do. I know some of the council people have been trying to get some that have been terrible for a long time.
And so your question then is?
I would like to know, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's right. I would like to know how the people here that are running, and I'd like to hear from everybody, because this is very important for this community. You can look and fix this and fix that and try to bring in.
So
I'm
you're
sorry,
talking
my
about
question
out-of-town
is,
ownership.
yes,
And, yes, and keeping that.
what ideas do you have that will bring about these out-of-town people that must take care of their property? Thank you.
You all.
Could everybody hear?
Yes, I could probably answer that.
All right. Would you like to?
Yes. The reason I say I probably can is because we are working now on a rental registry, and it's going to take a long time. We've not gotten very far with our meetings, but we did find out, Mrs. Seck, yesterday, or Monday from Mr. Gard, that we can have an agent. And an agent is different than a contact person. An agent will be able to collect rent, give eviction notices, and do everything as the owner himself could do. Without that, they will not be able to buy a rental property. Now we have to make sure that we get that in the proper place. We've had enough of it. You know, I have tried to get a house down forever. We haven't had any money, but we do have money for other things. So I hope it goes through. I know we're working hard. People are coming in now to give their ideas. So we are working on that.
Anybody else?
I'd like to answer too. I'm a social worker in the Dunkirk City School District, and I work with families, a lot of families who rent, and I agree with you that that is one of my biggest concerns. I do home visits. I go to homes where I don't think it's necessarily safe for kids. And a lot of the landlords, I don't mean to paint a brush stroke, and I don't think you either. There are some very good landlords who take very good care of their property. But I am concerned as well of the out-of-town landlords. I also think we need to look at the laws that are on the books and enforce those as well, through the building inspector's office or whatever we need to do. But we need to tighten those up.
All right.
Mr. McCoskey.
Oh, okay, and then we have.
I really don't know if you can ever truly, I mean, it's a free market out there. Anybody is entitled to buy a home if they want to. But I think it starts at the building inspector's office. I mean, first, why can't the city's building inspector better address the housing blight so he can better do his job, so it doesn't get to that point in the first place? You know, is he involved with, are there legal constraints or staffing issues in his department? Do city housing codes need to be revised? Are they being enforced? These are questions I believe need to be answered. And if the building inspector is doing everything in his power to address this issue, then we need to find ways to improve upon the effectiveness of those methods currently being used, because I don't think it's happening effectively enough or fast enough.
I think Mr. Cowell.
One of the biggest concerns I heard when I was out doing door-to-door campaigning is this issue of houses being abandoned by landlords and homeowners. And, you know, we've had quite a few in our neighborhood that we've been trying to take care of. And I do believe that it falls on the building inspector and that department. However, we need to do what we can to help in that, and aid if it means we need to find other people to help him with his job. It's a very large city once you start walking and knocking on doors, and once you see the amount of houses that do need help, you realize that it can't be done by one or two people. So in addition to what Ms. Floramo has said and what they're working on right now, I would like to see whatever we can do to help the building inspector and his office enforce the laws that we already have in place.
Thank you.
And Mr. Moscato wanted to say something.
Just quickly, again, I agree with a lot of things that have been said here, but one of the problems that I would have is when we go to the auction block, when there's a foreclosure out there, we need a little more support from the county. And what I'm asking of the county is that people come on the internet and they see these places are available. They don't have a clue what the place looks like. They have no representation here. I agree 100%. If they're going to buy it and then resell it again, they should have a local agent that we could address any problems to start with. But the screening process should start before the auction. The bid comes in and the county awards to those individuals. One good example is a facility on Roberts Road that was purchased a couple of years back that was vacant for a long time. A woman, I believe, from Canada purchased it, and after she made the purchase, she called a local realtor to put it on the market. Well, he went in there, inspected the building, and the roof caved in already. There was water leaks all the way down, and he basically told her, you have to come here and take a look at what you bought. She had no clue what she bought at the time. So I think in that respect, a little more support out of the county when they do the auctions would be a big benefit to the city.
Me.
Okay, you have a minute?
Sure. I just wanted to respond to what Ms. Shukawa said. I just want to say that Mr. Zarowski has attended our meetings, and he's aware of these problems. And this is what we're trying to do, is not give him another workload. And like Mr. Shukawa said, if we have to, we will get him help. But we have to get this done.
Mr. Dalton, your vote.
Yes, I've been I'm a part of Councilwoman Floramo's committee that has been working on this issue for some time now. But each meeting, we get another piece to the puzzle. And the last meeting, which Mr. Sec also attended, was the agent. And to me, the agent's the key figure because it's a local contact. Talking to Mr. Zarowski the other night, if they're not in the state, if he's not able to contact them, his hands are really tied for the most part. I think the one other part of this that we're missing here is the building inspector's office. His demolition account continues to be cut year after year. And when we have these buildings that are obviously in need of demolition, he has no money to do that. A house that has asbestos in it, you're looking at $15,000 just to remove the asbestos. We need to come up with more funds, and once again, it all comes back to the long-range planning.
Thank you.
Any other respondents on this question of the housing owned by out-of-town landlords?
I think we had one other question from the audience.
Paula Jakubowski. I'm from the town of Dunkirk, but I do most of my business in the city of Dunkirk, and I'm aware of it's a growing older community. We have a lot of senior citizens, and my concern is in the downtown area. When I come over, I miss that grocery store on 4th Street. There really aren't a lot of good places to shop downtown.
And your question?
You have to go up to Route 60 and all that. Is there something in the plans for replacing a grocery store or anything in the future?
We all miss that. I do too. It was my corner store. And there wasn't too much opposition to it leaving, which surprised me. There were a couple meetings, and they were very poorly attended. And I did hear the mayor at one of the meetings say there was a discussion would save a lot, but that's all I heard at that meeting. Outside of that, I know nothing else. And I think this is when we need the director of development to get out there and find out who is looking for a new place, because that's what we need to do, is start developing these places that are empty. Thank you.
I'd like to respond again. I agree with you. We have a large senior citizen population, especially in the area surrounding where that store used to be. We have a lot of people who live in the city who don't have transportation and can't afford to take a cab or a bus or something out to Route 60. So I agree with you. A Price Chopper and Aldi's, something along the lines of what Mrs. Floramo was talking about, I think would be a great addition to the downtown area. But again, the development director, if elected, I'd love to try to work on something.
I have a concern about a rubber stamp common council, rubber stamp local government. And just recently I heard an advertisement on the radio criticizing some of the present candidates for asking the tough questions, especially of the police department. If you are elected, all of you, if you are elected, will you ask the tough questions no matter what person you're talking to, even if it is the police chief?
Who would like to tackle that one? Yes, good.
I think when you're in council, you're accountable for pretty much everything you do. You should be transparent, and I think that it's important to just stay focused. Lost my train of thought. Give me a second.
That happens.
Okay, can I, and then you can get your
Yes.
thought back. As I said in my opening statement, I think one of the biggest issues in the city right now is the fighting or the criticizing. I believe everybody should ask questions. I believe everybody has a right to their own opinion. It's how that is brought about. I think that we need to listen to each other. We need to be respectful of each other, and we need to put aside the individual and the party politics and, yes, ask questions, but in a respectful type of a way. I think sometimes it comes across as being attacked or people attacking each other, And it needs to be a partnership between the mayor, the council, the department heads, the city workers, and the taxpayers, all working together to solve these problems that we've all agreed on are major issues facing the city.
Yes.
And I think, you know, every one of us is capable of asking the tough questions, every one of us. And, you know, I mean, those questions need to come from you guys also. You need to bring your concerns to us. And yes, I know that that happens, but sometimes, you know, one person, you know, little drop here or there doesn't always, it isn't always getting the point out there. What you really need to do, you really got to address all the issues. They got to come to us. We got to ask the tough questions, and we got to be accountable and responsible for what's going on.
I think we have one more.
Yeah, I'll agree along those same lines. You have to question every department head. That's their job, and that's your job. But I think you do it in a professional manner. You don't Pearl Harbor job these guys during a council meeting. You approach them privately, go take up the issues with them, and if they're not doing their job when you approach them privately, then you bring it up publicly. But you show them dignity and respect that they deserve. They've been doing their jobs a long time. They've seen plenty of council people come and go over the years. And you've got to show them more respect, and you've got to be more professional.
May I respond to that? I just wanted to say I have a lot of respect for our police department. I've worked with them on the National Night Out for 13 years now, and the mayor, the police chief and I are friends, whether you believe it or not. He has no malice toward me, and I don't have any toward him. We have heated discussions, and we air things out, and that's the end of it. Whatever you hear, whatever you see, I can't help. So I do believe that we need to have respect for our employees, and I would never question an employee. I feel that that is up to the boss to do. It's not up to me. It's up to the department head to do. Thank you.
This gentleman has a question.
My name is Thomas Tadler. I reside at 223 Temple Street, Dunkirk. And I appreciate seeing everybody here tonight and everyone, you know, trying to make a difference because it's important. On again and off again in this city since the 70s, there's always been a debate which way is the future of the city. Is it going to be a resort community, or is it going to still try to be an industrial community? I'd like to hear from everyone what they'd like to see and what would be the steps they would start taking toward that undertaking. I've got friends all over this country that have seen pictures or have been here and said that we have a multi-million-dollar waterfront, and the question is always, why isn't anything being done? Are we hedging in one foot in the past and one in the future? You know, what is the plan? What is the direction that you'd like to see 10 years from now with this city? Thank you.
Any volunteers here?
I'll go.
Okay.
I think it's important for the city to have a mix of both industrial and people coming in as tourists. We have a large population of elderly, like we've already spoke about, and those people are going to stay here. But to bring their families from out of town back here to see them, they need to have something to do. I believe that the waterfront is the perfect place to do that. We are taking steps forward, and it's great to see, but I think we need to do more to develop what we have down there. Other communities don't have the waterfront property that we have. We have to take it and use it wisely. We have to take it and use it to its full potential. So I'd like to see a mix of both industrial and residential, and a mix of everything in between.
May I respond to that? I really enjoy that question because we keep asking it all the time. I agree with Ms. Shukawa here. We have the incubator, which is very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that they will be able to help young businesses establish a business, and I hope they stay here. However, I just feel that we are looking at the wrong thing. You know, computer factories came and went, and parts factories came and went. Dunkirk has always been so good with food. We have the best agriculture here. We have beans, tomatoes, everything. If we could get another good small canning factory in here, we would be on the right track. We have all the potential here. We have the water. It takes multitudes of water to run that. Today, they don't pay you $2 an hour. They've got very good wages there, and those would be good jobs. Somehow, we don't seek that. We're looking for the technology, I guess, and that comes and goes. From Monday to Wednesday, it changes. So there are ideas out there, and we are working toward it. Thanks.
Yes, Mr. Muscat.
Okay. Combination of industry, tourist, we have all that for us. Just this past season alone probably stood out more than anything. Our beaches were utilized every possible warm day we had. You couldn't believe the people, and a lot of them from out of town come here. Tournaments were brought in. The kids had something to do. Our parks are located right there in the beach areas. In between games, they took advantage of our waterfront. The incubator, this is a whole concept to try to keep people here in the city to start up new businesses. When you get into the high-tech field, especially in the internet and cyberspace, you don't have to be located in big cities. You can be located any place. And we hope to attract that potential of starting up those type of businesses in the communication graphics field right here. Food service, I think we have our big share of food services here. If the Progress Park, which everybody knows as the former Roebling Steel property, that is in the process of future development, and here again, through the county's effort, we have to coordinate this. The Industrial Parkway, the Millennium Parkway as it's known, that comes to be. It will be going into that particular area. There's already inquiries about developing that particular parcel of land, not only with the food industry, but distribution centers also. So I think we're on the right track. Things don't happen overnight. It took a long time to get where we were because former administrations, and I hate to say this all the time, but they stood still on doing things that could have been here, started anyways. The last 6-7 years, we have seen more growth in the city of Dunkirk than we have in the past 30 years.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to respond on that question?
I feel any successful city has to have a combination of both in order to succeed. I feel the city's on the right track when it comes to tourism. We're headed in the right direction there. But we need to take care of our own house in order to keep and attract industry. If we have, a failing water treatment plant, a sewage treatment plant, roads, numerous water main breaks, if those aren't being addressed, if I'm a business owner, I'm not so sure if this is where I'm looking. So we need to take care of our own house first.
Thank you.
Mr. Moscato, 1 minute.
1 minute, okay. I think we're in the process of taking care of our own house. Again, things don't happen overnight that were created over a number of years. Money factor again, I'll go back to what we were told to do, put a plan together where the shovel is ready to go. We have several projects in mind. Hopefully they'll come our way. If I can go back to, I believe it was Mr. Goransky made a statement, and I don't think anybody really answered him, but I'd just like to say real quickly that since I've been councilman at large, I have kept politics, bickering out of City Hall, out of these council meetings. I have made that a priority. Department heads, I'm here every day. That's why I said availability is a big thing. My opponent, Mr. Doltz, he has a full-time job. He has to make a living. He's not available like I am. I come in here on a daily basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other, did anybody? Oh, yes, okay.
Tourism is very important to the city, obviously, because it brings in out-of-town dollars, and we get visitors to the city and makes us look very good, actually. But you got to remember one thing, that tourism isn't family-sustaining jobs for this area. And that's where industry comes into play. And we've got these industry that we have right now. We've got brownfields that we want to develop. I mean, that's where we really should be focusing our attention on, is to give those residents income jobs that are going to support a family. That's what we need to focus on, is the industry.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment to Mr. Moscato.
One
I
minute.
just, okay, just want to say that I can make up for Mr. Dulce. I have free time, and I don't hold down four jobs like one of our president councilmen do. So I think Mr. Dulce will do fine.
And thank you for the endorsement.
Just endorsed it, Eric.
Are
Thank you.
there other questions from the audience?
I was going to respond to this. Okay, I got it.
No other questions?
I think that would take
Okay, you want,
one more.
okay.
One of the questions, oh, sorry, yes, sir.
Okay, since the Millennium Parkway was brought up by Mr. Moscato, and since our county executive is here and our county executive candidate is here, I would like to have everybody's thoughts on the new proposed route for the Millennium Parkway.
Yes?
As a resident, I signed a petition over the summer that I would not be in favor of that road coming through Talcott Street. As a councilman, I would have to have more information. Number one, what's the current truck traffic on that route right now? How much is it going to increase by? Is it going to pull traffic from other areas of the city onto that route? We've all seen what truck traffic has done to this city. Lakeshore Drive, Middle Road, Main Street Extension, you can see what happens. They can't sell the houses, they turn into rental properties, and there's good landlords, and there's not good landlords. All right. Also, I need to look at, as a councilman, I need to weigh the pros and cons. I want economic development. I want family-sustaining jobs. Okay? I want an increased tax base to this city, which we are desperately in need of. Those are things that have to be considered. So as a resident, no, I was not initially in favor of that. Because if somebody told me that I was going to get an increase in truck traffic in front of my house, I'd be pretty mad. Okay? But as a councilman, you've got to weigh both of those issues and come out somewhere in the middle, hopefully.
Somebody else?
Yeah. All right, the Millennium Parkway, I think, is a terrible idea. We already had the railroad tracks dividing part of the Dunkirk for the railroad tracks to the lake. Now you're going to have the railroad tracks to the Millennium Parkway. You're just cutting the city in parts, which nobody knows where they live or nothing. The one part on the south side doesn't have nothing to do with the north side. They got their own issues. It's not the way to go. They should have put that parkway where they originally wanted it to. Because now they got to cross the railroad tracks in front of a school. It's not the best place in the world to have a truck. Thank you.
Here's a rebuttal. Oh,
No.
Yeah, I mean,
And this is okay.
what you've got down there is part of Talcott is across the street is zoned industrial. I mean, those people, when they bought their homes, I mean, that had to be in the back of their minds that was going to happen someday. The problem is the other part of Talcott off of Main Street there, it goes through residential property. There's families there and whatnot. So that's an issue too. I mean, if you bring that truck traffic down there, is it going to be a marginal increase or is it going to be very minimal?
She's next.
As I was out doing my door-to-door campaigning, that was one of the issues that was brought up to me, and the people that bought their homes along that route did not buy those homes thinking there was going to be truck traffic there in 10 or 15 or 20, 30 years. The trucks are already here. They seem to be doing just fine delivering to the local businesses and Cliff Star. The truck routes seem to be okay. And there is a safety issue that we have to think about. School 3 is right around the corner, and many of those children walk to school every day. So I believe that if you put safety issues first, then we need to find another route, another way to go to reroute those trucks, not along Talcott Street.
Mr. Singh wanted to,
Yes.
1 minute.
You want to rebut?
Okay, now,
1 minute.
just to rebut that, it's a quality of life issue. When you live in your house, you're going to see these trucks go by and the noise and the fumes. That's not a quality of life. How are you going to attract people to come into the city of Dunkirk when you don't have no quality of life here? People are going to complain, and anybody that's looking to come here is going to talk to the citizens and they're gonna tell them, this is not the place to live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to conclude this segment.
Should have never had.
We need to hear from our candidates for county executive, so we'll move to the 1-minute closing statements in the reverse order. So the first person will be Ms. Hanlon.
In conclusion, I just want to thank everybody again for being here, because your input is vital. It's always going to be vital. We thank the League of Women Voters for having us all come together. Again, I'm hoping we can bring a great future to this city. It's moving in a really good direction. Love to keep it continuing moving in that direction. And again, I'm focused on having our families reunited, bringing people that have moved away back, and keeping our kids here in the city. After they go to college, they have a place to come home to. This is home. Let's keep it home.
Ms. D'Amico.
I also would like to thank the League of Women Voters and for everybody who's come tonight and has taken the time to listen to all of us and to want to get to know where we stand on all the issues. Again, I am an independent thinker. I will speak my mind. I will be accountable to the taxpayers. Everybody needs to remember that no matter what elected official you are, what you're elected to, what office, you are responsible to the taxpayers. That is who you work for. So it's important to have that feedback. And I thank you all for coming.
Mr. Zick.
In closing, all I'd like to say is, I can bring to the table time because I am retired. So if somebody has a question, I have the time to look up the answer and get it to you. And I would stress that open government in City Hall. No more backdoor meetings and stuff like that. Bring everything else to the public. Let the people know what you want to do, and they'll back you. Thank you.
Mr. Moscato.
Thank you. Just want to say, if you choose to allow me to continue on as your councilman at large, I promise you this, I won't let Dunkirk go back to political game playing. I will continue to support and vote for more progress and more development. As I look around our city, it is looking good. I remember the old Dunkirk. I'm not that young anymore. When all we heard were promises, but nothing got done. I'm seeking your support on Tuesday, November 3rd for all the people. Please vote my rows of row C and G, and let's keep the momentum going. Thank you.
Ms. Shikawa.
I would like to thank everyone for joining us this evening as we discussed our points of view on some very difficult issues. Through my door-to-door campaigning, I had the opportunity to hear your concerns, your problems, and ideas on how to help Dunkirk move forward. If I had not gotten the opportunity to speak to you yet, I look forward to doing so in the future. As a wife, mother, and homeowner, I understand the importance of proper money management and trying to do more with less when facing hard economic times. The city of Dunkirk is facing some of those times in the months ahead. I do promise to keep communication lines open between myself and the residents and to work together as a team player to help make Dunkirk remain the great community that it is. I will work diligently to resolve the many challenges that we face as a community. Thank you.
Mr. Mahalski.
The city of Dunkirk provides an excellent opportunity for residents to raise a family and own a home. The economic development and family-oriented activities happening in the waterfront are all very exciting and should make residents proud to call Dunkirk home. I believe to be an effective councilman, you need to demonstrate an independent voice, listens to the concerns of residents, and pose questions on issues when they arise. And that's what I promise to bring to you as your first ward councilman.
Mr. Dawes.
This election is about the need for decisive, independent leadership for the position of councilman at large. The city can no longer delay focusing its attention on many critical issues. My opponent has made quite an issue out of the fact that I have full-time employment. Well, I've had full-time employment all the years I've served on Common Council, and I invite him to ask any one of my constituents if they felt slighted because I have full-time employment. It's not about how much time you have, but what you do with that time.
Ms. Florano.
Yes. Our mayor said the other day during a meeting that Dunkirk is 52% tax exempt people. We are not in a good place. That means 48% of residents are paying taxes in the city. It continues to get worse. I remember just about 2 years ago, we were 50%. Now it's 52. So I'll continue to serve you faithfully and diligently. I'll welcome all your questions, and I do get answers. And I just hope that our tax base can increase by getting rid of these bad homes and getting some jobs in here. And I thank you for your support. I do welcome your questions because they keep me informed. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the candidates for City Council. And we will proceed to the segment for the County Executive.
That was a good debate. If you would please take your seats. Excuse me.
That's all.
Get my teacher voice out here. That's right. We would appreciate your attention, please, so we can continue with the last segment. Okay, we're ready.
All right.
Pardon? Probably 45 minutes. Oh, two. Yes. All right, we're ready to go on now with our two candidates for county executive, Mr. Chuck Cornell, Mr. Greg Edwards. We welcome the two of them. And again, they have received the same question as all of the other candidates. What is the major problem that facing Chautauqua County, and what are your qualifications for county executive? Their opening statement, again, will be 2 minutes. Through the luck of the draw, Mr. Cornell was first.
Oh, thank you. Can everybody hear me in the room? Okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for this opportunity tonight, and I'd also like to thank the people of the city of Dunkirk. I'd also like to recognize my mother-in-law, father-in-law that are here tonight to see me. I appreciate you being here. I'm running for county executive because I believe very strongly in the future of Chautauqua County. I believe that we have everything we need here in Chautauqua County to be one of the cutting-edge communities throughout New York State and throughout the Northeast. However, we have lost 2,500 or more people in the last 4 years. Our population continues to decline. Our school enrollments are declining at alarming rates. We've gone from the 5th highest taxed county in the nation to the 4th highest taxed county in the nation. Our property tax levy has gone up over $1 million over the last 4 years. And we have the most underdeveloped housing stock in the nation. Now, my opponent and I disagree on the condition of Chautauqua County. Our first debate, he said we've had record economic success over the last 4 years, and we've witnessed tremendous job growth. I don't agree with that. I've been out knocking on doors and talking to the people of Chautauqua County for over 5 months now, starting in May, and I've yet to meet a single person that agrees with my opponent that we're in some sort of an economic renaissance here in Chautauqua County. What I am promising is a 5-point economic development plan for the people of Chautauqua County that includes business startups, investment in housing, investment in lakes and waterways, investment in green-collar jobs, and also well, I got lost there, but 5 points, and I'll get to them as we go along. But I have a clear plan for direction. My opponent does not. We had a debate yesterday where there was no strategy mentioned the entire debate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Edwards.
I want to thank Ms. Reynolds and Ms. Amaran for arranging for our opportunity to have this discussion this evening. I want to thank the folks that are here this evening attending, and certainly all those who've chosen to tune in by watching it on television. It's a great audience and a great opportunity. I've had an extreme pleasure working for you for the last 4 years. And I do believe, and I think the statistics show, that we've had significant investment growth, and up until October of last year, we also are experiencing significant job growth. The facts are proven and irrefutable that we've had more investment in Chautauqua County in the last 4 months than we have in that period of time at any point in recent history. Also up to October of last year, by New York State labor standards, we had over 1,000 jobs that were available and open, and we were actively recruiting people to come to Chautauqua County and take those jobs. No one in this room, myself included, anticipated or could have changed the international monetary debacle that we experienced starting in October of last year. But I will give you some warming or some encouraging statistics. Chautauqua County's job ratios, the jobs that have been lost, is the 5th best in New York State. 1/2 the amount lost on average in New York State. 1/4 of the average job losses nationally. What we've done a very good job at is diversifying our economy and finding ways to manage in the most difficult economic environment we've had in 70 years. And I'll also tell you, since we're in Dunkirk, that the lion's share of the investment that I've talked about has happened in and around Dunkirk, resulting in opportunities that this area has not seen for many years. And I don't think you have to do anything other than look just to our north to see the investment in NRG, the investment in Perina, $72 million, $150 million in NRG. We've also had over $15 million invested in Cliffstar. And yes, we have an opportunity to see that growth continue aggressively with both Nestle and both Cliffstar, because each of them are working with the county to expand their operations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. Again, we open up the questioning to members in the audience.
But first, we do have a question from some people who could not be here tonight, and that is the residents of the county home. They have asked us to inquire how the candidates see the future of the home. It's projected to have a deficit of $2.7 million in 2010, and the incumbent county executive's budget does not allow for matching funds needed to get a federal grant to fill the gap. Would you defend or agree with this budgetary decision? And in either case, where do you stand on the future of the home?
You want to start?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've come out with a pretty clear and definitive position on the county home. My opponent has not, like he has on many other issues. I support the county home. I believe that it's very important that we have a public nursing home in Chautauqua County, and I will continue to support the county home. That is my position. It's a very clear position. Yeah, the county's executive's budget did not include money to close a gap in the budget. He left that decision up to the legislature. He took a pass on that decision. So we went ahead and we put in the money and had the federal match up to $1.2 million to help with the county home. The county home is an enterprise account in the sense that county taxpayers traditionally do not pay anything for it. It comes through fees and reimbursements, et cetera. But from time to time, like we've seen recently, predominantly due to the change in Medicaid reimbursements, county taxpayers have had to step in and help out on a short-term basis. So it's my hope that if I'm your next county, it's not my hope, I will, as your next county executive, take the lead on this issue and work with New York State to try to make sure that our county home is viable into the future. So my position is very clear, and I hope this evening the county executive's position becomes a little clearer.
Well, I've continued to endeavor to conduct myself with decorum and professionalism, so I'll just answer the question. My budget was very clear. My position was very clear. We maximized the revenue we had available to double our money through the IGT. We did not invest further in the county home because it had a sufficient fund balance to make it through the next year. To invest more money in the county home would have meant an increase in your property taxes. It's my opinion that in one of the worst economic crises we've had in 70 years, the best thing we can do for the taxpayers of Chautauqua County is continue to deliver property tax rate decreases and levy decreases where possible. My budget did both, and it also secured the county home for another 12 months. That gives us an opportunity to continue to lobby for increases in reimbursement, continue to employ the 250 people that work there. It continues to be maintained at an occupancy rate of 85 or 98.5%, providing great service, good paying jobs, and a future for the county home. It allows us, as we go forward, to analyze Is it the best business model for us to continue to invest tax dollars now into the county home to keep it open? Or is there opportunities for us to seek additional reimbursement from the federal government or other ways to allow it to maintain its capacity to support itself? So in my personal opinion, we got the reduction in the taxes, the help to the taxpayers, and we've been able to maintain this very important piece of our infrastructure without having to increase taxes.
Thank you.
About that, yeah, I think that answer makes it very clear. There is no position from our county executive on whether he supports the continuation of the county home. If he doesn't, I respect that position. That's a good position to have. But the problem is over the last 4 years, we've had time and time again where we haven't seen leadership coming out of the county executive's office. We haven't even seen clear positions on issues coming out of the county executive's office. They've been left entirely up to the legislature to make. So time and time again, the legislature will make a decision, and then at the end of the day, the county executive, like he has 5 other times, doesn't sign, doesn't veto the legislation, still doesn't have an opinion on it. So we need to have leadership in the county executive's office, and I've taken a firm position on the county home. I know because I'm part of this community up here. I got married next door in this church. My 2 oldest boys were baptized here. I know how important the county home is to the North County. And that's why I've taken the strong position I have and the decisive position I have on this issue.
If I may rebut, it's decisive but factually incorrect and misleading in the position that he just took, because the facts are clear. There's been one case, one local law that I have not signed, and that was on the increase in taxes and the bed tax. All the rest of them have been signed, and that's the only time that's occurred. I think my position was pretty clearly stated. I funded the county home so it could continue to operate, maximize the opportunities for the IGT, have it operate again for an additional 12 months, and decrease the taxes for the people of Chautauqua County. So the facts are pretty clear, and it's frustrating, but it's been something I've been experiencing for the last 4 or 5 debates, that these facts have to continue to be corrected.
Right. And this is what I've been dealing with. Notice he said local laws. I'm talking about resolutions and local laws, not just local laws. There are 5 of them, and I have gotten them sent to me.
All right, we must go on.
Thank you.
We must go on. Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Yes, please step forward.
Dick Murphy again. Do you think there's an opportunity to consolidate towns, schools, public works, things of that type, and do you think it's necessary?
I'll be glad to start.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. You certainly have been a leading voice out there calling to question the methodology that's used to provide essential services throughout New York State and focusing here in Chautauqua County. The answer is absolutely yes. And that's precisely why I received the unanimous support of every highway superintendent and city public works director in the county of Chautauqua to enter into an agreement to unanimously support the study and independent analysis by professionals of how our county highways and town highways, village highways and city highways are engineered, constructed, maintained, and cleared of ice and snow. It's never been done before. There's been one partial study and one study done by a particular municipality on how that's done. For years, we've heard about, well, we do it better if we're the town or a village or city, or we do it better if we're the county or a village. Now we're in a situation where we have unanimous participation to find out precisely what it costs, who's doing it, and what would a better model be. I stipulated at the front when I spoke to these individuals that all 555 miles of county highways are in the mix. If at the end there's a better model that can be designed to be better, more efficient for the taxpayers of Chautauqua County, that's where I want to see it move. It's also true with the water. That's why I asked the Health Department to do a complete study of all the water systems in Chautauqua County, focusing first on the North County because of the extreme need for that. The result has been the partnership that's been developed through the use of the Chadwick Bay Corporation to investigate and pursue a North County water district, modeled hopefully after the model of Niagara County, where they have one water district pushing water 40 miles, serving not only one county and all its residents, but 2 counties now. Those are 2 direct examples of how we can move these issues forward and move it from debate and discussion to action. I'm pleased to say that the City of Dunkirk is a partner in all of those. They are a crucial foundation to the North County Water District. I've been pleased to work with the city and surrounding towns on all of those.
Thank you.
Mr.
Well,
Cornell.
I think we've heard this time and time again during the course of this campaign. My opponent wants to study, wants to analyze, but at some point you have to pull the trigger and you have to have some action. And we've had no action from this administration over the last 4 years. Let me give you an example. The town of Chautauqua wanted to consolidate its highway department with the county. Initially, the county executive supported it. But then as soon as some opposition arose, he was nowhere to be found. And I was at the Bus-Dye legislative breakfast a week later. The county executive had the opposite position that he had just 2 weeks prior. So you can't have this kind of leadership where one day you say one thing and one day you say the exact opposite. We can't have that kind of leadership in the county executive's office. What I've done is, as a legislator, I had a resolution passed to basically state the county supports consolidation. I did that with something in mind. I had been working very closely with the city of Jamestown to get the police department and the county sheriff's department together to discuss police consolidation. It's something been discussed for years, and we finally got them at the table. It's the first time it's ever happened, because I believed very strongly that we could move towards a countywide policing model if the municipalities had an interest in discussing it. And so Jamestown indicated that interest, and we put the group together. And so that was an initiative, a resolution that I put forth that has started to begin that discussion. So yes, I believe it's very important. I too have worked with Mr. Murth and through my professional job at SUNY Fredonia, and attended a meeting at his house and got a quart of blueberries as a result of my attendance there. So I remember that very well. And so I think it's a good discussion, and I will show and exhibit leadership in the county executive's office to get these things done.
If I may rebut, my opponent repeatedly misstates the facts. In this particular case, I was approached by the supervisor of the town of Chautauqua. He asked me if the county would be willing to submit a bid to him for a cost to take over the highway services. I inquired with him about his seriousness of it, because it was a major step. He said, yes, I'm serious about it. So what did I do? I provided him with an appropriate and professional bid for the service, delivering that service. It was $500,000 less than the cost of maintaining their current service. He brought it to the town board. The town board voted it down 4-1. This is not a dictatorship. I provided them with the facts, the statistics, and the opportunity to join in that sort of initiative. They voted it down 4-1. My position never changed. I submitted the bid. They were only ones empowered to make a decision, yes or no. And as far as the resolution, I would be glad to present a resolution tonight, whether or not there's anybody in this room who's not in favor of consolidation. It was obvious that resolution was going to pass the legislature in the county. I was pleased it did.
That resolution also contained a process for setting this up, so you had a formal process, because clearly we see with the town of Chautauqua that was not handled with leadership. I don't believe the county executive attended that meeting where this issue was discussed. Again, he was nowhere to be found. Now, if you don't believe me, we have media here, we have folks here. Call the former town supervisor in the town of Chautauqua, and he can tell you exactly what happened. So you don't have to take my word for it. Call and ask him. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Yes. And then you're next.
Very simple question. It's been asked in the past. What are your positions on the county taking over the assessing?
I'll be glad.
Sure.
I'll be glad to start. This service, like many services, is something that has to be looked at to see whether or not it can be more efficiently done and more appropriately done. Up until this point, the individual municipalities have desired and been strong in their position that they want to maintain their own independence and their own assessing duties. A study was completed. I know my opponent hates to study things and he just wants to make decisions, but a study was done and commissioned in response to the state's request that that be done. It was presented, and from my review with the individual municipalities, there was none or virtually no interest in having the county take over the assessing process. I think the objection was that as the study was presented, it would initially cost more money. And given this economic situation that we are in, I don't believe anybody wanted to invest more money in the assessment function, but first wanted to try and improve it municipality by municipality and follow the option that has been taken by many municipalities, or a few municipalities, where they join together, like the city and the 5 towns in and around the Jamestown area, who have one assessor that works in all of those arenas. So it's my belief the numbers were accurate. It showed that it cost more money. Municipalities at this point in time have elected to band together to find ways to do it as cost effectively as possible. It's my opinion that that's something we can look at again. But again, these municipalities are individually elected, independently elected officials, and from meeting with them, it was my position that they wanted to maintain their independence.
The answer is yes. And you look at other counties, like Tompkins County has countywide assessing, and I believe that we need to move in that direction for a couple of reasons. Number one, I believe it could be more efficient, and number two, I believe it would provide a more uniform tax assessment for the county, and I think that that's needed. And the county executive is right. I would rather make decisions than study things time and time again, as we've seen. I've been out and I've talked to so many people in this county who can go way back and talk about all the different studies that have taken place. I've had some discussions with some mayors of both political parties about what would happen if we took all the studies and put them together in a library. It would be a pretty good room. So yeah, at some point you do have to make a decision. And you don't quit. You don't quit when the municipalities say, well, we're not interested on the first pass. You keep at it. You keep at it. I did this with a home heating tax. The executive kept vetoing it. I kept at it, and that got passed. It's done. It's law. So you can't quit. You have to keep going. That's extremely important, and you have to have leadership from the county executive's office. And sometimes that leadership means you have to be out in front on an issue and take a position, and out informing the public that you're in favor of this and pushing the issue. Sometimes that is needed. You can't always ride the fence on these issues. And so, yes, I support that. Yes, I'll be out in front of it. Yes, I will be out speaking publicly about it. And no, I won't quit on the first pass. Thank you.
We have a question?
My name is Kathy Tampio. I'm a resident of Silver Creek, and I'm also a local Habitat for Humanity volunteer. My question to you both is, what improved role do you envision the county could take to rehabilitate our derelict housing stock?
Yes, thank you. I envision a much larger role for the county, and I not only envision it, I've been doing it now for 4 years. I created the first countywide housing task force and the first countywide public-private housing trust fund to assist municipalities precisely for that reason, for housing. And I know you have some issues up in Silver Creek. I've been up there on Babcock Street and seen it for myself. And so, I did that. Now, we got it done. It took over a year to get the task force appointed. I had a press conference in Silver Creek the next day, criticizing the fact that it hadn't been done for a year. The next day, the task force was appointed, and then we had to come back the next month and reappoint 2 people because they weren't even asked to be on it, and so we had to change that. And so unfortunately, we saw something that should have taken a week take a year. But nonetheless, it's in place now, and this is a great tool for the county to work with municipalities. Also, this was brought up in the previous debate. I've worked very hard in trying to create pre-inspection of housing so that when people go in to buy a house at auction, they have an idea of what they're getting into. That met with a lot of resistance, but that's something clearly effective in helping with our auctions. Also, this is something the county executive and I agreed on. We took the foreclosure down from 3 years to 2 years. That was my resolution. Mr. Edwards signed it. So that's something that's very helpful in terms of dealing with vacant houses. I've gone out in my community. I've started 2 neighborhood revitalization groups through my professional work at SUNY Fredonia. I started the Washington Park Neighborhood Revitalization Group up here in Dunkirk. It's something I believe very strongly with. I've talked to Mr. Dulce many times about it. We need to work together with our municipalities. The county needs to be a leader. It needs to be part of the solution, not an obstacle in this process. And so I agree with you.
Well, I agree that the county cannot be an obstacle, and we have not been the obstacle in moving these matters forward. We've worked with the cities, both Jamestown and Dunkirk, and the local towns in addressing and resolving issues that have gone on for years. I'll give you the Gary Trailer Park, for example. That's been something that was going on for 15 years. It's been over 20 years since a person's paid tax on that. What happened? I partnered together with the village, the town. We removed every one of those trailers, got it done, got it cleaned up, and now we've got an opportunity to remarket that property and have it be valuable. That's something that existed for 15 years before I became county executive. And as far as I've been down this road again in previous debates with the reappointing 2 people. The Housing Task Force was appointed. One of the appointees retired from Code, so we had to appoint his successor in the executive director's role to reappoint him. All of the folks on the commission submitted a request with resume to my office asking to be on the Housing Task Force. So I just find it surprising that we have to continue to go over this. You know, it's mentioned that we shortened the tax foreclosure process. It was only because we had the fiscal responsibility to manage our dollars that we were able to shrink it to 2 years. Because it had been longer than that all the years prior, because we were involved in a tax sale certificate process, which extended the foreclosure time by years. We were able to eliminate that because we had the funds necessary in an unrestricted fund balance to not have to go out and use that as a way to manage our cash flow. So the tax foreclosure time was reduced by resolution, but the key component of making it effective was eliminating the need for the tax sale certificate. We were able to do that because we had the funds designated or set aside in our undesignated fund balance to not have to use that mechanism for cash flow. So it does take work, it does take fiscal planning. I believe that by moving forward with our foreclosures, we can assist the whole county in addressing housing issues.
Thank you.
I'd like to rebut that. I think the fact that for the first time ever, we didn't even have an auction in 2007 speaks to the mismanagement of some of our housing issues. You know, when you're living next to a vacant house and the county neglects to even have an auction one year, that year is a long time. And unfortunately, that happened in 2007. Now, again, the 2 individuals that had to be replaced on the Housing Task Force were not asked. I spoke directly to one who told me, no, I'm not on that. I wasn't appointed to it. And I said, well, I just voted on it last night. And the other one from the North County was not informed, and Mr. Edwards didn't mention him when he was speaking. So you had 2 individuals. This was slapped together within a day because of the criticism after a year of foot dragging on this issue. And I would like Mr. Edwards to explain tonight, why did it take a year to appoint the Housing Task Force? You've yet to explain why that took a full year. And I'd like to hear tonight why it did. Thank you.
Again, we can deal with the facts. It would have been impossible for them to submit resumes to me and with me doing it only in response to some press conference. So that just is not accurate. Couldn't be accurate because I had requests for folks to serve on the tax.
Why did it take a year?
On the Housing Task Force.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Yes, we have one, and then we have another one.
Sorry. Edna Seck, Dunkirk, of course. I'd like to ask Mr. Cornell a quick question.
Sure.
If you had an anonymous letter, unsigned letter, come to you about one of your workers, if you were the have the position you're running for now, how would you handle it, especially when there are 5 people that know the truth about this? How would you handle this? And if the executor wants to answer it, it's up to her.
Well,
Could everybody hear the question? No.
Okay. You want to repeat it?
well, her question was, how would you handle it if you got an anonymous complaint about a worker? Well, that's a great question. Talk about one you don't anticipate. This last year, as a legislator, often I get anonymous letters. This last year, I got an anonymous letter. It was actually signed by all the people that were plow drivers because of the situation we were in this last winter where we weren't able to plow our roads. And there was some public criticism, I believe, out of the town of Hanover because of the poor plow driving. And they were trying to explain to me that it was through no fault of their own. It was because a top-down it was dictated to them that they were going to have these new shifts, and they were being called in before they had completed their routes. And so naturally, as a legislator, you know, I dealt with that the same way as if they signed it. They were trying to let me know, but they didn't want their jobs to be in jeopardy. I think anything that you get, I mean, if it's anonymous, obviously you approach it a little bit differently, but it's not something that you take any less seriously. I think oftentimes whistleblowers don't put their name forth because they don't want to lose their job or otherwise become in jeopardy because of the issue that they're bringing forth. But you have to take it seriously, of course. So naturally I would, and I would look into it. Thank you.
Mr. Edwards, did you?
Mrs. Seck, I'm glad that you identified yourself and that your concern is one that I can address, and I'll be happy to meet with you afterwards. When I receive a letter that makes allegations, whether it's signed or unsigned, I investigate it. Unfortunately, when it's not signed, there's no indication of who expressed the concern. I have no way to communicate the results. But if you would like to approach me afterwards, I'd be glad to talk to you. It will be confidential. I won't disclose what we're talking about. There's any number of issues that go on in county government that might need to be addressed personally and privately. I'd be glad to do that with you. If I did investigate it, I'd be glad to respond.
There was somebody else?
Yes, there's a gentleman in the back.
My name is Mark Spezielli. I'm a former councilman here in the city of Dunkirk. And back in August, early August, I got to tell you a little story here first, and it'll lead to a question, okay? Back in early August, I wrote a letter to the county executive, the mayor of Dunkirk, and the IDA requesting information regarding the $125,000 grant that was given by the IDA to the city of Dunkirk. It was a Freedom of Information Act request, and to this point in time, I've been stonewalled. I've gotten no response at all from the mayor. I got minutes of the meeting from the IDA, and the county executive unfortunately lost the letter according to his law department. I sent a second letter. I guess that one didn't find its way to anybody either. So the question that I have is, we've heard a lot of talk about tonight about professionalism and open and transparent government. This doesn't seem like open and transparent government to me. What's your views on open and transparent government, and how will you implement that in your administrations?
I'll be glad to answer that. Thank you very much, Mr. Spezielli, for coming this evening. It gives me a chance to address publicly what would normally be a private FOIL request. I apologize, sir. I don't have any record of receiving the original letter. As soon as I received the second letter, I followed the exact same procedure with yours that's been established by process for many years in the county, and that is that when a FOIL request comes in, it's immediately transferred to our law department. Attorney Dan Palowie is the gentleman who's been corresponding with you. He follows the letter of the law and proceeds as aggressively as he can to provide the information requested. In your particular case, the information you requested is from the IDA. The IDA has their own independent counsel, independent operation. That counsel as well has received your FOIL request and is dealing with that through the IDA. So there's absolutely a process. It's followed every time. I certainly apologize, sir, if a previous letter was sent. I'm glad that you sent the second one, so that it very well could have been a mistake in processing. But FOIL requests are very simple. There's a request made. There's a statute that describes how they're to be handled. They're handled the same way each time. We provide the information as quickly and readily as possible. Everyone's handled the same. There's a small processing fee that's designated by statute to be requested and those sorts of those. So I believe you have received a letter from Mr. Palowie, and as I understand from your comment, you've also received communication from the IDA. I can assure you that those two processes will be completed appropriately. If there's other information or further conversation you want to have, I'd be happy to sit down with you personally in my office. You can call my office directly. I'd be happy to sit down, walk through the process, provide whatever other information you'd like.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you. You have to have open and transparent government. You also have to have professionalism. I've been a little bit outspoken in the legislature about doing these resolutions that are brought up under other at these meetings when the public has had no opportunity to know that they're on the agenda. So I agree with you 100%. You need to have professionalism in the county executive's office, and unfortunately, your story is not the only story. I've heard this time and time again from people throughout Chautauqua County that have gotten no response. I know that the Lilydale Assembly, for example, spent $7,500 to fix up an election site and make it handicap accessible, et cetera. Then the polling sites were consolidated, which is a decision of the Board of Elections, not the county executive, but they called me because they called the county executive's office and got no response. That's one example. Another example is with Chautauqua Opportunities. The county health department applied for a couple of grants that the COI had for years, and COI was never notified. They found out at a meeting. And whether or not to go for the grant is a whole other story, but that's not professional. If you're going to try to get a grant from an institution that's had it for 30 years, you need to sit down with them and explain to them why you're going after the grant. and talk to them. And I understand initial attempts to even get a meeting with the county executive were unsuccessful, and then finally they got one. And so these are things I've heard, many, many times, day in, day out, just from citizens that send letters. And so I think we need to have a responsive county executive's office. You are a servant of the people, and sometimes people that are in the executive's office forget that. They forget that they're a servant of the people. And I will certainly conduct myself in that manner if I'm elected to this office.
Mr. Edwards, 1 minute.
I've always considered myself a servant of the people. That's why I'm out in the community regularly. And while my opponent may refer to something he's heard out in the community, I can assure you the facts are the facts, and they're not accurate as stated by my opponent. Thank you.
Correct the facts, then, if they're not accurate.
I've spoken directly.
Okay.
You keep throwing that out, but you never correct. You never say what it
I think we need
is.
to just stick with the questions, please. Are there any other questions from the audience?
Can I follow up on that first, though? My original question was about open and honest, open government. Now my question has changed because the IDA did give me minutes of the meeting, okay, that the grant was approved in. And I don't really understand how an executive session could be called, which lasted 3 minutes. There was no prior notification of the meeting. There was no application process that was made public. There was no discussion
And
about...
your question?
The question is, how can you approve a grant for $125,000 with 3 minutes of executive session?
What was the grant for?
The grant was for Memorial Park.
Oh, okay.
And it was all after the fact, after the work had been done.
Well, I unfortunately was not part of the executive session, so I can't tell you what was in the executive session at the IDA. You just referred to an executive session, sure. Session.
The IDA.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know what happened in the executive session.
3 minutes, and...
I would like to be able to answer your question.
$125,000 was approved.
I would like to be able to answer your question, but I can't.
Let's go on then and
I think we need to move towards our
to our closing question.
Well, this is a brief question. According to the Observer, the number of jobs in county government has increased since the Mark Thomas administration. Why do we need more government employees now than we did 4 years ago? One of our members asks.
I'll be glad to answer that question. The number of county employees has increased in direct proportion to the demand by New York State to provide more services and the observation in order to properly serve the citizens in a variety of areas was necessary. I can tell you that in 2007, I made proposed a budget that included the increase in the number of county employees. At my best of my recollection was 16. That's 16. Of all those 16, only 2 were not paid for in large share by the state of New York because it was services that we were providing on their behalf. The 2 that were not was a public defender to represent the dramatic increase in family court cases involving custody, visitation, and support, and a clerical position to allow that attorney to operate because they needed a clerical person to prepare the files and assist the attorney in their work. As it turned out, through the efficiencies of the public defender's office, they were able to accommodate the attorney without adding the additional staff. The others were 100% covered, 85% covered, and 65% covered by New York State for that very precise reason, and that is that they were requiring the services to be completed by the county, their services, so they compensated us for the increase. The other decisions have been made under my administration has been to streamline county government. We've eliminated 2 departments. We eliminated the insurance department and assigned those duties to our finance chairman because he had the capacity to do them. We didn't need a high-paid department head in the insurance department. So we merged those 2 departments with dramatic efficiency in dollars and increased deliverables as far as a better insurance process. Our employees will concur with that. The other one was the Youth Bureau. The Youth Bureau, the state recently notified us they were going to cut the funding by 20%. The decision was to cut 20% of the services or do it a different way. We eliminated the department head and the 2 employees that were there, and we merged those services in the Department of Social Services.
Thank you, Mr.
For
Edwards.
better service, $50,000 more service, and less cost.
the number was 20 new employees, the first budget of the county executive, and that was the year that spending was increased or proposed to increase by over $10 million. And of course, the property tax levy was proposed to go up by $2.2 million. I have supported adding some employees when they come with funded mandates from the state. When this has occurred in departments like mental health and social services, I have supported it. There have been many that I've opposed. I opposed adding back the airport manager. That had been eliminated under a consolidation of the previous administration and then added back. Not because I don't think that it's valuable, not because the person in there isn't an exceptional individual, but I just felt we couldn't afford it. I opposed a GIS coordinator for the same reason. Actually, it was a little different. I asked I asked that the IDA, or the Economic Development Department, check with our Information Technology Department to see if they could work together and avoid adding a position. The next meeting, they had yet to do that, and so I opposed it. And I did oppose 4 new positions that were added. Your legislator at the time, Ron Zott, I recall, introduced a resolution for each one of those employees to have it eliminated out of the budget, so I recall that very well. So, yeah, there's been a lot of new employees added under this administration, as much as they talk about business models and all this, rhetoric about, applying business analysis and streamlining. Yes, we have many more government employees. And when Mr. Edwards ran for office, of course, he had a different position than he does now on employees. So I have opposed many of them. I don't think you can take a across-the-board approach to adding employees. I think you need to look at it at a case-by-case basis. I did support adding a watershed coordinator. I thought that's critical to our future because our lakes and waterways are deteriorating and we need to do something about it. So I did support that as well. But you have to look at it at a case-by-case basis. You also, I see my time's up. I'll stop.
Thank you very much. I think it's now time for closing statements. 1 minute each, starting in the reverse order, which
So, Mr.
means
Edwards,
you're first.
Thank you for the privilege, and I do consider it as a privilege to be here tonight. I consider it a privilege to serve you as county executive. We've been able to dramatically improve the delivery of our services. As I just described, we've been able to shrink the size of government and the number of departments that we've had. We've been able to deal with the dramatic increases in costs that I think you've seen in your city budgets and others. Over the course of the last 5 years, the total increase in the levy that my opponent continues to refer to as $1 million, which is accurate, is less than 0.5% per year. At the same time, our sales tax revenue was reduced by $11 million. At the same time, our Medicaid costs went up by $5 million. At the same time, our pension costs went up by a similar $5 million. So if you are keeping track of the score out there, you'll see that we've had a dramatic increase in obligation, a dramatic decrease in revenue, and yet we've been able to manage ourselves in such a way that we've handled all of that and at the same time reduced your rate of tax every year I've been your county executive.
County executive said during his first year in office, echoing his campaign, that he wasn't going to play games by saying the tax rate was going down. It's the tax levy that matters. Now we see that he is indeed playing games by saying the tax rate is going down. He also said that we don't need microscopic cuts to the tax levy. We need meaningful cuts to the tax levy. You didn't get meaningful cuts to the levy. You didn't get microscopic cuts to the tax levy. You got an increase of $1 million to the tax levy. We've gone from 5th to 4th highest taxed county in the nation. 5th to 4th. Tax levy's up. Our population, Mr. Edwards said he was going to stop the bleeding. He hasn't done it. Mr. Edwards says on his website that he envisions thriving urban centers in Chautauqua County. What has he done to create thriving urban centers in Chautauqua County? I know he sent bills to the city of Dunkirk for $400,000 and $600,000 to the city of Jamestown for their tax foreclosure agreements. So what has he done? So I think we need leadership in the county executive's office, consistent leadership.
Thank you. And thank you to all the candidates, and thank all of you for attending, and thank you to Margaret Larson, our timekeeper, and to Krista Haynes for her wonderful TV production. Please remember to vote on November 3rd, and the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
I'll
Thank
see
you
you
for sponsoring.
Monday.
Yeah, we will see each other.